Picture a seed buried deep in the soil. In the darkness, it quietly gathers strength, unseen by the world. But if you dig it up too early, show it off before its roots have taken hold, it withers. Your goals are seeds. Every time you announce them, you pull them from the soil. You expose them to judgment, envy, and interference before they've grown strong enough to survive. We live in an age of disclosure. Social media applauds you for sharing every ambition. Friends want updates. The culture rewards visible hustle more than silent discipline. Yet history, philosophy, and psychology agree. Telling people your goals often weakens your ability to achieve them. There is power in silence. Strategic reserve is not shyness, it is self-defense. Aristotle taught that virtue is not in the noise, but in the deliberate act, in the praxis. Machiavelli warned that premature disclosure invites sabotage. And modern psychology shows that publicizing intentions tricks the brain into feeling it has already succeeded. This is why some of the most effective leaders, artists, and thinkers are silent planners. They reveal only finished works, not embryonic ideas. They know that ambition is safest behind closed lips until it becomes reality. Today, we'll explore why withholding your goals is not selfish, but strategic. We'll look at ancient examples, psychological research, and real-world stories. Then we'll end with practical ways to cultivate this discipline in your own life. By the end, you'll understand why the most dangerous plans are the ones no one sees coming. Aristotle taught that deliberation precedes action. In his view, the virtuous person acts from a stable inner state, not from external applause. This idea, strategic reserve, is older than Aristotle. It is etched into myth and history. Odysseus, hiding inside the Trojan horse, Pericles, holding back his speeches until the moment of maximum effect, the Spartan habit of laconic speech. Why is silence so powerful? First, it denies your adversaries ammunition. In the Greek city-states, politics was a blood sport. To reveal your plans too soon was to invite opposition. A rival could counter, ridicule, or even steal your idea. But silence left them guessing. Without knowledge, they could not mount resistance. Second, reserve strengthens the self. When you keep your aims private, you concentrate your energy inward. You are not performing for an audience. You are not negotiating your commitment. The act of not telling becomes a ritual of self-control, a way to train the will. Third, strategic reserve is a form of respect for reality. The world is unpredictable. Plans change. By staying quiet, you keep flexibility. You can adjust without public embarrassment. You are free to pivot without losing face. Machiavelli's The Prince echoes this. Never reveal the full measure of your intentions. His advice was not paranoia, but prudence. In Florence, a careless word could cost you power or your life. The wise kept their counsel until action was unavoidable. Think of a chess master. She does not announce her moves before she makes them. She plays quietly, forcing the opponent to react to her rather than the other way around. This is the essence of strategic reserve. Modern science confirms what Aristotle intuited. When you share your goals publicly, your brain receives a small burst of dopamine, the same chemical released when you actually achieve something. This phenomenon, known as social reality, tricks the mind into feeling progress where none has occurred. Dr. Peter Gullwitzer, a psychologist at NYU, ran studies showing that people who announced their intentions to others were less likely to achieve them. Why? Because public acknowledgement replaced internal drive. In effect, talking became a substitute for doing. Public goals also invite subtle sabotage, not just from enemies, but from well-meaning friends. Someone may criticize your plan, plant seeds of doubt, or simply ask about it constantly. Each question can chip away at your focus. And there is envy. Human beings are competitive. When you declare a goal, especially an ambitious one, you trigger comparisons. Some will quietly hope you fail. Some may even act to ensure you do. The more visible your ambition, the more visible your target. This doesn't mean you must live in secrecy. It means understanding timing. Share your goals only with those directly involved, and even then, sparingly. Protect the inner fire until it is bright enough to illuminate a room. The paradox is that silence does not diminish power, it magnifies it. When you reveal a completed achievement rather than a fragile intention, you project authority. You appear decisive, not tentative. Consider Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon. For months he kept his true intentions hidden, even from his closest allies. Only when his army was in motion did he reveal his plan, making it impossible for the Senate to stop him. Strategic reserve turned a risky gamble into an irreversible fact. Another example, the American Civil Rights Movement. While the public saw marches and speeches, the most decisive strategies, legal cases, funding channels, negotiation tactics, were planned in quiet church basements. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. understood that certain moves could not be telegraphed. In the business world, think of Apple under Steve Jobs. New products were developed under extreme secrecy. By the time an iPhone or MacBook was unveiled, the competition had no time to react. The spectacle was in the reveal, not the planning. Contrast this with countless startups that hype their next big thing long before it's ready, only to stumble publicly. Hype erodes trust. Secrecy builds mystique. Even in your personal life, the pattern holds. The friend who endlessly talks about writing a book rarely writes it. The quiet person who disappears for a year returns with a finished manuscript. Reserve converts dreams into reality.
How do you apply this in a world that encourages constant sharing? Adopt a need-to-know policy for your life. Ask, does this person truly need to know my goal right now? If not, keep it private. Replace public declarations with private rituals. Instead of tweeting your new fitness plan, quietly sign up for the gym and show up. Instead of announcing your business idea, build a prototype. Speak in outcomes, not intentions. If someone asks, "What are you working on?" say, "You'll see soon," or "I'm preparing something." This creates anticipation without exposure. Limit validation. Recognize that the small dopamine rush of talking about your goal is counterfeit. Train yourself to crave the satisfaction of completion instead. Use trusted confidants sparingly. A mentor, a partner, or a single friend can provide accountability. But even then, share details gradually. Reveal at the moment of strength. Like Odysseus emerging from the Trojan horse, time your disclosure for maximum impact. When your plan is irreversible, or when you're ready for criticism because your foundation is already solid. Strategic reserve does not mean isolation. It means alignment. Your words match your readiness. It is the difference between the tree whose roots grip the earth and the seedling uprooted by the first wind. Practicing this discipline will feel uncomfortable at first. You may worry that people will forget you if you stop announcing your ambitions. In reality, your eventual results will speak louder than your promises. And the mystique you build by holding back will often make your success seem larger, more deliberate, and more inevitable. In every era, the most effective people have mastered silence. Not the silence of weakness, but the silence of power. The pause before the strike, the quiet before the reveal. When you tell people your goals too soon, you surrender leverage. You trade substance for applause. You give the world a map to your vulnerabilities. Aristotle's idea of strategic reserve is not outdated. In an age of oversharing, it is revolutionary. Each time you resist the urge to announce your next move, you strengthen your will. You protect your focus. You build a private fortress where your ambitions can grow unmolested. So before you speak your next goal aloud, ask yourself, is it rooted deeply enough to withstand the storm, or does it still need the shelter of silence? If you want to go deeper into the ancient roots of this idea, the ethics of action, intention, and self-mastery, consider exploring Aristotle's Nicomachean ethics. You can even listen to it on Audible while you work or travel. It's a reminder from 2,000 years ago that real virtue moves quietly and that the loudest power is often the most fragile. Your goals deserve better than fragile power. They deserve strength, patience, and the element of surprise. Guard them until they bloom. Then let the world see what silence has built.